What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and I'm here to bring you some more 40 facts on the Warhammer 40k universe. Today, I got an awesome one for you. I was contacted by the homie Adam C, and this guy has been working on his Grot army. Yes, you heard that right, guys. We are talking about not the orcs, but the Gretchen and the Grots. He's basically made a Grot / Imperial Guard or Astra Militarum army, which is what they're now called, and he combined them together. So this is some really awesome lore that this guy put together. He literally wrote everything down in a 40 facts format, which is amazing. Big props to you, man. So without further ado, let's dive into this awesome 40k lore on the Grot Revolution. Rebel grots are not an uncommon thing within orc society. However, those who become more than a slight annoyance to the local orc leader are quickly quelled. It is rare for grots to amass enough strength to confront their abusive masters directly, but the largest rebel cell is the infamous Grot Revolution, also known as Grot Coal. Grot Coal started as a plot by a radical Ordo Xenos inquisitor called Hadric Valerius, who collaborated with the Adeptus Biologus to bring the orcs down from within. Looking to capitalize on the greenskins' habit to fight amongst themselves, he sought a way that would enable the Grots to fight back against their oppressors. Hadric theorized that the chaos caused by the Gretchen slaves revolting would slow or cripple an orc warband or even an orc wall. To do this, Adeptus Biologus had created a serum genetically designed to augment a grot's weak anatomy, testing it on captured Gretchen, one of which was a small grot named Grot Coal. While some grots were unfortunate enough to have their small bodies burn themselves out during the enhancement process, over a third of the test subjects survived, and they became stronger and smarter. During this time, Grot Coal used his wit and cunning to establish himself as the head honcho of the imprisoned grots. Seeing his potential as a leader, the Inquisitor had him subjected to intense hypnotherapy and training in both strategy and tactics. Inquisitor Hadric then decided it was time to test his creations out in the field. He gathered together the best of the enhanced Gretchen for Grot Coal to lead against a small orc encampment. The Gretchen leader felt they needed a name, and thus they decided they would be called the Red Stars. Recent attacks by the Astra Militarum forces, ordered by the Inquisitor, had killed the majority of these orcs. The Gretchen now outnumbered them 8-1, making it the perfect test run for the Red Stars. Grot Coal reveled the chance to liberate his fellow Gretchen, but he knew he would have to deal with the camp's leader, a knob by the name of Grimjaw. So leading the rebel grots into the encampment, Grot Coal devised a way to remove the orc knob. Working with the local grots, they stole a section of explosives and armor from around the camp to set a trap for Grimjaw. Grot Coal then approached the orc knob, telling him that a rival knob had come to take charge of his boys, believing him to be a better war boss. Enraged, Grimjaw leapt down to face this challenge head-on, too late realizing this would be a rival, makeshift dummy clad in plated armor and stuffed with explosives. With their leader now scattered over most of the camp, and with the orcs in disarray, Grot Coal rallied the grots and led them in a mutiny against the orcs. By nightfall, not a single orc remained, and a black banner with a red star on it was raised in victory. Over the following years, the Grot Revolution would develop into a unique fighting force as it ravaged war against all other orc factions on this planet. One of the biggest developments to come from the enhanced grots was the development of Oddboys specialists within the rebellion. Grot mech and techs exhibited talent for engineering to match and often exceed that of orc counterparts. However, they do differ in their weapons and vehicles, since they lack the orc's signature crude and ramshackle style of building, although their weapons are no less unstable. There is always a high number of Grot mechs boys amongst the rebels, each competing with others and seeking to outdo them with their creations. This is likely the reason for the abundance of war gear and vehicles that the Revers have access to, which allows them to hold their own against the toughest of foes. While Grot mech boys differ from their orc counterparts, there is very little contrast when it comes to the Payne Boys, who also take a savage glee at any chance to fix injuries, create and attach bionics, or even attempt their own enhancements. Shortly after they had appeared, it had become evident that these Payne Boys had somehow managed to replace and replicate a copy of an augmentation serum crafted by the Adeptus Biologus, which they referred to as the Super Juice. Because of this discovery, they are a key part within the rebellion, as most Grots who join their ranks are often injected with this Super Juice to become stronger. A side effect of this juice is that some rebel Grots now generate a similar psychic energy akin to that created by orcs. And as a result, Gretchen Weirdboys and Warpheads begin to emerge, absorbing and channeling this new power. Unfortunately, they turned out to be just as unstable as that of their green-skinned psychers, and because of this, they are often bound or encased within cages. Those who do prove to have an amount of control over their powers are freed from their prisons and put into the care of an assigned keeper. Rather than being led by one individual, the Grot rebels are instead governed by the Revolution Committee. It is those who oversee and dictate what happens within this rebellion. The committee is led by Colonel Grot Coal himself and 5 other Grots of suitable rank, and even an Ed Ancho from one of these revolution's many warbands can become a committee member if he achieves great things for the cause. Aside from Grot Coal's second in command, the other 4 placements on the committee are not permanent. Anyone can lose their seat at the table, whether through continued failure or loss of power from within the rebellion. Colonel Grot Coal is the leader of this committee, and he is a figurehead for the revolution. He has a natural talent to inspire fellow Grots and to take up the fight against their oppressors. Grot Coal is a skilled strategist who prefers to use his brutal cunning to play his opponent right into his hand. It is very common for the Grot rebels to be underestimated due to the reputation of them being the weakest of the greenskins, a fact that Grot Coal is all too aware of, and he has made into his biggest strength afterwards. Time and time again, enemy commanders will dismiss the rebels as nothing more than an annoyance, not realizing the true threat until it is utterly too late. Some commanders even let their pride get the better of them, refusing to accept their inability to deal with Grots, and sometimes they never even call in reinforcements. Grot Coal takes great delight in his role, and it is always in good mood, often seen with a wide grin across his face. Like all other greenskins, he enjoys a good fight, and will even take delight even if his force has been wiped out, providing that the battle was entertaining. Colonel Grot Coal leads the revolution in many conflicts and wars over the past 9 years, during which he has liberated thousands of Gretchen. Without his inspiring presence, this rebellion would surely crumble. Despite his reputation, it is rumored that the revolution's leader is not the same Gretchen who began this rebellion all those years ago, but instead several Grots who have each taken up his name and title over the years. If this were true, it would be likely that whatever the colonel was killed in combat, it would be passed to another Grot nearby, stripping his predecessor of the trademark goggles, cap, hat, and jacket, and the new Grot Coal would then emerge, unscathed, dismissing the injury, or gloating at his luck to the cheers and laughter of those present. If such a system does exist, then the Grots are either unaware of it, or they simply don't care, choosing to believe in a deception due to Grot Coal's importance to the revolution. Or every Grot has taken his name and played the role to the point where few can tell the difference. This could also be due to the greenskin's unique ability to make something work simply by thinking it does. The new colonel believes so much that he is Grot Coal that he takes on the personality and even the memories of his predecessor. Colonel Grot Coal's second in command is a fearsome Gretchen by the name of Captain Squidscream. Inspiration will only get a Grot so far, and it falls to Squidscream to retain discipline, which he does through overwhelming force and intimidation. Where Grot Coal is always cheerful, Squidscream always is on the verge of an aggressive outburst, never smiling. He emits an aura of hostility that makes nearby Gretchen instantly fear him. The only Gretchen able to relax around Squidscream is Grot Coal, to which he is 100% loyal to. When one Grot made the suggestion that he would make a better leader because he was the strongest, Squidscream viciously beat him to death, leaving nothing more than a red paste on the floor. When the head honcho Morgrot was to be punished for his failures, he was brought in front of the Revolution Committee. He pleaded to be given another chance, asking Grot Coal not to get mad at his mistakes, to which Grot Coal replied with a warning and smile. "I'm not mad." Morgot relaxed before he continued. I have Squidscream for that." And with those words, Squidscream leapt towards Grot, dragging him away to torture him with all the manner of punishments imaginable to a Grot. Captain Squidscream is the most skilled fighter in the rebellion, rumored to have killed his former orc master by himself without any enhancements. He has an intense hatred for anything bigger than him, and actively seeks to beat them in a one-on-one combat. Fueled by an endless rage, he is able to shrug off the most grievous of wounds, and because of this, he is able to hold his own against the most skilled and powerful of foes. To aid him, he has equipped with him an exosuit fashioned by the rebellion's finest mechs to boost his already considerable strength and endurance. He is also equipped with a power claw and a shooter, and he has been proven to be just as tough as any other Grot around. Captain Squidscream's most notable feat was when he single-handedly took on an Imperial Knight during a raid on a facility. Despite his furiousness, he was unable to do any real damage to it. However, the Knight could not ignore him, and he was forced to fight back. Squidscream dodged most of the Knight's attacks, and even shrugged a kick from its titanic feet. After 10 minutes, the combat was finally concluded, when Squidscream was hit hard enough by the Knight's battle cannon barrel that it sent him flying off into the distance. However, by this point, the Knight's absence had affected the outcome of the battle, in the Grot's favor that is, and they were ultimately victorious. The captain was later recovered from a warehouse on the outskirts of the facility. The immense fall had broken his body, and he was forced to endure to the care of the Grot Payne Boys until he fully recovered. Next up, we have Gaza Stripbolt, who is the Rebellion's Big Mech and Grot School's tech advisor. Stripbolt is a decent Gretchen, and he is more bot than he is Grot, his bionic body hissing and whirling with every move he makes, and his voice is coming out as a dry electronic buzz. He covers his robotic body with a long black robe, though it is unknown if this is through intimidation or mockery of the Mechanicum's own tech priests. Along with his position as Big Mech, Stripbolt is also the head honcho of the Night Tech's warband, and he is responsible for some of the Rebellion's more advanced tech and vehicles. And unfortunately, guys, this is where I will end part 1 to the Grot Revolution lore. Once again, a big thank you for this lore. This is all coming directly from the creator of the Grot Revolution. So for now, I want you guys to go in the comments and let Adam know how awesome his lore is, what you guys like about the Grots, and stay subscribed because tomorrow we will continue on with part 2 on the Grot Revolution army. But yeah, guys, let us know what you guys think about these Grots. If you were a freaking space marine, would you be intimidated? Hell no. So that's basically your downfall. These Grots are tough. They're advanced with the super juice, and they will surely kick your butts. But for now, guys, that's all I have for you. As always, stay subscribed, like, and comment for more Grot awesomeness. And as always, I am the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.